jelly and found you. A beauty, my father said, a gift of sorts, a bargain. You are what I have to remember father by. Your tail, poise, an internal strike. Your poison, barb vital. Father of terror, surprise, you visit my neck. Slip between cleavage. Oh, I like this. Hey. Okay. There is no part of me that doesn't feel your power. At any cost, you are dear to me. Zandy, you want to read next?
You are dear to me, you are dear to me, you are dear to me.
Hold on, speak up. Nobody can hear you.
Stanza.
Nobody can hear you.
Where it says, my father still.
I don't see it. Oh. My father still lives in the desert, treks through Sarago monuments like a harmless aesthetic. Survivor of 2 heart attacks, I have forgiven him. His sting is twice removed. But like my father, Scorpion, your mistakes are preserved. The wall of glass between us does not make me sleep any easier. I still dream that you will redress the wounds you inflicted. Say to me, I never intended to hurt you anymore. Sometimes I forget you are dead to me. I shudder at the living do. When the living dead touch.
Can I go? I remember when my father said, listen to the music of the desert. I heard white noise, then I discerned the paroxysm of the wind, and off-key lullaby, finding no purchase on the flats. The scratch of scorpions on their pilgrimage across the desert, spending fear on anything standing taller than a grain of sand. Any music present is an echo of the silent, paralyzing strike that came without warning.
So I think what we should first do is do like jLAmay was saying, like with the words, the positive and the negative words, and go through that and like kind of get a feel for what it's talking about.
Yeah, like I found like something that was like issue, like mention of father of terror. So like in the second.
I highlighted the wall of glass between us does not make me sleep any easier. I just liked it, so that's why I highlighted it, but I know it means something.
Okay, so I know
it's like a negative connotation.
Yeah, negative and then positive.
So
it's Scorpion. See Scorpion.
First, let me take a selfie.
Harmless. Would harmless be like a harmless aesthetic?
Can we find the words that repeat though? Because Scorpion is in this box. So like
it says it's okay. The scorpion preserved in the glass. Okay. So.
Must mean something.
This is the title. Nice. Syntax.
All right, so
could it be that she's like mad at her father though? Because like I'm looking all the way down to the third one. It's like, but like my father's scorpion, your mistakes are preserved.
But like my father's scorpion,
your mistakes. Okay, so her dad's like has messed up before.
Like
or
my
something
father's
like
scorpion, your mistakes are preserved.
all right, so let me ask you a question. So scorpions, what are they?
They're
little dangerous creatures.
They're little dangerous creatures, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a negative.
What kind of comparison is being made here?
they sting like they're
Between what? Between the father and the scorpion, right? Okay, so you now should be able to start determining what you think her attitude is towards her father simply from that comparison, right?
Yeah.
All right. So tell me what you're thinking.
Even before that, you should have known because she said you're dead to me, and she's obviously talking about her dad.
Yeah.
The whole poem is about resentment against her dad.
You are what I have to remember father by. On your tail poison, internal strike, your poison barb vital. So like the negative things probably that her or his or her father did to that person.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Every negative connotation to her dad.
That sounds a little.
So why does she have a problem with her father?
I think she's. I feel because she says here, there's no part of me that doesn't feel your power at any cost you are due to me. So it's like she can still love him out of obligation, but she doesn't love him out of actual love.
Okay.
And then she also forgave him. She said, I have forgiven him. His sting is twice removed. So it's like.
There's also like before, like she yearns for him to like come back and like try to fix it because she says, I still dream that you will redress the wounds you inflicted. Say to me, I never intended to hurt anyone. Right. So
okay.
He probably said something to her. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
I think it's kind of like I'll forgive you, but I won't forget what you did.
Yeah.
That type of relationship. Because she said I forgave him, but your mistakes, like a scorpion, is preserved.
But yeah, but it's like look at the title: To a Scorpion Preserved in a Glass Necklace, as in like something, but I think it's something like you can always, because it's a glass necklace, you can always carry that around.
Kind of close to your heart too.
Yeah, exactly, and then you can always.
The wall of glass between us does not make me sleep any easier. I still dream that you will redress the wounds you inflict.
Do y'all see what she's saying by glass though?
No.
It's put away, but it's still there. She can obviously still see it clear as day, as if it's happening again. She hasn't let go.
She hasn't moved on.
It makes who she is. And even though she hasn't moved on to this day, she carries it around, so it makes who she is, like the scorpion preserving
Makes her stronger.
Okay, so what do you
she's
think?
aware.
What do you think he's done to her?
I watch Law and Order, so I feel like it's rape.
You feel like it's rape? Okay. You felt like what?
You
Thomas?
visit my neck, slip between cleavage. There is no part of me that doesn't feel your power. So it could be he possibly, molested his
He
daughter.
didn't just rape her. He just probably even talked to her to did physical and emotional abuse.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right. So now we're getting to the heart of the poem, right? Because you saw all these negative connotations in the words. You saw how that relationship was somehow broken, right? I think we need to go back to this idea of the glass preserving the scorpion. I think what Zandy was saying was really important, because she's saying it's not like we took the scorpion and preserved it in wood, or we preserved it in a cardboard box, right? Or a metal container. It's preserved in a glass necklace. Why is it important for us to be able to still see it? Or for her to be able to still see it?
Well, right here it says like my father's scorpion, your mistakes are endured.
Okay.
Like she'll still forgive him, but like it's a part of her that can't let it go, whatever it is that he did it to her. Because like I guess she probably, because it says like I never intended to hurt anyone. Yeah,
The thing
I'm
with
saying
the whole forgive or forget, it's like a contradiction. You can't truly forgive someone if you're still dwelling on what happened. So it's not true forgiveness. Like she still is hurting from it constantly, even though she's saying I forgive.
All right, so now what I want you guys to do, because you have a basic understanding of what's being said in the poem, right? So now think like a psychoanalytic critic, all right? If you have, since you guys are doing psychoanalysis, remember that I gave you that handout with different questions that you can ask as a psychoanalytic critic. Does anybody have a copy of that handout? All right, so what I would do is pull that out, and I would start with that list of questions, right? What questions would they ask? How could you address this poem using those specific questions, okay? All right.
I think her dad died.
You think her dad died? Okay.
Because it says, okay, so going back to the whole forgive but not forget, she said, sometimes I forget you are dead to me. I shudder as a living do when the living dead touch.
But when you say dead,
I don't know. I know you were dead. I know you're not actually dead, but I'm saying like.
It could mean that she's like got away from him and never talked to him again.
Right, and she also, you says dead to me, and then what was in the next lineage?
I shudder as the living do when the living dead touch.
When the living dead touch.
Like,
So, implying that he's what?
he's still alive.
He's still alive.
It's like it's like because like divorced parents or whatever, when their kid is like really like mad at the like let's say the father or the mother that like left them or something like that.
Right.
To them their mother's dead.
Right.
But whenever their mom comes, they have resentment to them and they never want to talk to them again.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking, that's what it means. Like she's just trying to block him out of life, but he still keeps trying to come back and try to fix it. But whenever he tries to fix it, he makes it worse.
Okay. All right. So the one thing I want you to remember is with this particular poem, if we were looking at different psychoanalysts, right? Who might be the most appropriate psychoanalyst to kind of what approach to take?
Not Sigmund. He was unconscious. I would say
Lacan?
No.
The mirror? What is Sigmund Freud?
It would be like this when it's talking about the id, the ego, and the superego.
Yes. For Sigmund Freud, everything is about what?
Everything is the unconscious. Like everything in your mind is like in the back of it, but when you're not aware of it, that's what drives you forward subconsciously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be called
All right. So my other question though is for Freud, everything's about what? Go ahead, say it.
Sex.
Sex. Everything's about sex,
The
right?
id, the ego, and the superego.
So if you're saying that this is a relationship where she has been sexually abused, I think you have to look at what Freud is saying, okay, and how that sexual abuse has shaped her unconscious actions. Okay?
The Oedipus complex too.
Well, possibly, although that's more male female, but I think you could maybe twist that a little bit and say, here's the female male relationship. Although, does she want to have a sexual relationship with her father?
Probably not.
Probably not. Hopefully not. All right. Questions on where you guys are going with this?
So at this point, you want us to look at the
Questions.
Yeah,
Yep.
the questions that they have.
And I want you to see how you might be able to look at psychoanalysis based on those questions and apply those questions to the poem. Okay? Then you can do the same thing with the next poem, which is, what's your other poem?
The Raven.
The Raven. Okay. Edgar Allan Poe. He's always good for psychoanalysis. All right. Questions before I move to the next group?
No.
No? Okay.